Wait for it. Wait for it. And we're live. Hey, you crazy sci-fi and fantasy fans. It's time for your daily dose of shenanigans over here at the Blasters and Blades podcast. Just a couple of nerdy veterans, a stabby chaos coordinator, and one chief shenanigator geeking out over our science fiction passions and fantastical fantasies. A place where magic is king, the sky is the limit, and space is the place. We are the podcast that puts the fun in dysfunction. So without further ado, we're going to let our guests introduce themselves to our listeners and viewers at home, starting with Aaron of Big Water Outdoors.
Hi, guys. I'm Aaron, Big Water Outdoors, your local kayak fisherman that loves all things nerdy, listening to audiobooks and podcasts.
Oh, freaking standing. All right, next we have Mr. Bill McGushton.
I'm Bill McCushton. What was that?
I just said that never gets old.
Oh, the way JR says McCushton.
Yes, it amuses me.
Yeah, I am the writer of the ongoing Zorn series, which I publish on Substack. I'm looking at possibly expanding and moving on to having it on other platforms at some point. And as you can see, I'm hard at work, allegedly, because I have evidence of my alleged hard at workness right here.
Nice.
All right, next we have Miss Jana S Brown, who sometimes cosplays as Jenna Ray.
Hi, guys. I'm Jana S Brown. I write speculative fiction of many stripes under the pen name Jenna Ray. I write other things under other pen names. I am the chief shenanigator around here, which means I herd the cats and I pass out the virtual cookies and generally, try to keep JR on target. Somebody has to.
All right. And how'd you pick the pen name Jenna Ray?
Oh, goodness. That goes back to when I was playing on a Mush, which is a multi-user shared hallucination back in the Telnet days. Because I am old, we've already established this. And I needed a login, and it couldn't be my actual name. And so I went from Jana to Jenna, and then they needed something short. And so that became my login name there, which turned into a character, which turned into a pen name because it flows off the tongue and it's easy to write.
All right. Next, we have Mr. Jared Keene. The doctor himself is in the building.
That's right. My name is Jarrett. I'm a Las Vegas professor where I teach creative writing, American literature, and the graphic novel. And I write speculative fiction. I write Westerns. I write all kinds of stuff. You can find me on Amazon.
Well, you can find his books on Amazon. He's sitting right here, unless we're getting access. But he does teach creative writing, so possibly he meant. Although that's generally more of a philosophy question, there is some overlap. All right, and finally, last but certainly not least, we have Mr. Keith Hedger.
Hi, I'm Keith Hedger. I write the Burning Bad Chroma Cyberpunk. Oh, crap. I am not on mute.
Nor now.
I have unmuted. Can you hear me?
Can hear you now.
Am I unmuted?
You are.
We're talking to you.
I'm Keith Hedger. All right, cool. Everyone can hear everyone. I'm Keith Hedger. I write the Burning Bad Karma Cyberpunk series, and I created the Tales of the E4 Mafia anthology series, and I'm the semi-recent founder of Defiant House Press, or Defiant House Entertainment, excuse me. And you can find me pretty much anywhere on social media.
For a second, I thought we were going to do that old Sprint commercial. Can you hear me now? I know
that was Verizon.
We were kind of doing that.
Was it Verizon? I thought it was Sprint that did that commercial.
No, it was Verizon.
Okay. I normally skip through commercials, so clearly it shows what I know. All right, because this is the Blasters and Blades podcast, we cannot escape without going through the religion question. So we kept for the movie reviews only the most important of all important religion questions. So because we are civilized human beings here at the Blasters and Blades podcast, we are no longer knuckle-dragging troglodytes, except for baby Jana. Coffee or tea? And how do
you watch it, man.
Aaron of Big Water Outdoors, what are you drinking when you're out on the boat?
I'm drinking unsweet iced tea right now because I am trying to lose weight.
That's almost heretical in the South, but we'll allow it because you're from the North.
I'm not from the North.
North.
From the West.
west, but still north.
I'm in the west, but same latitude, longitude as you are, if not farther south.
Oh, I thought
I'm
you were
not
up in Washington State for some reason.
Oh, he's in
No,
California.
I'm in San Diego.
Okay, all right, you're right.
On purpose?
You're southwest, then you're right. All right, next we have Mr. Bill Magooshton. When you're writing Zorn, what is in the cup?
What is in the cup? Usually water. If it's late at night and I really hate myself, I'm sorry, I need to get work done, I'm, speedballing caffeine.
As one does. All right,
Yeah.
Jana.
Like a responsible adult.
Yeah, like a responsible law. You're going to surprise me this time. I know you're going to say something different. Lay it on me.
I'm thinking really hard about something different, but no, really, really not. I have my Diet Dr. Pepper with lime and coconut. I am very happy about it. It has ice cubes in it. It makes me pleased. So, simple pleasures.
You want to hear something funny, Jana? One of the episodes where you did that, and I did that little ditty about the lime and the coconut in musical form, they flagged it as a copyright violation on Spotify.
Oh,
I had to edit that out. My bad singing was bad enough to get a flag. So
it was close enough to borrowing somebody else's lyrics that I'm just going to leave it with there are lyrics that go with it, and now you get to think about them.
Yes, and I don't know if I should be laughing because they thought I was that, like that they were that particular, or flattered that they thought it sounded that good. I don't know. We'll go with they thought I sounded that good and move on.
Yeah, exactly. It was recognizable. So ta-da!
Yay! All right, Jarrett, what are you drinking when you're writing?
These days, Polar Seltzer Strawberry Cream. I put it over ice, give it a little sugar-free coconut syrup. So good.
That sounds good.
Going.
I thought you were going to go for the full trifecta and tell me you were putting jelly in your coffee now.
After peanut butter comes chocolate, not jelly.
There you go.
Yeah, I'll allow it. Yeah, that one passes.
I'm not saying no.
I'm not saying no. All right, Keith.
Usually, especially if I'm working on a deadline, it's something caffeinated. It's coffee, it's tea. It might be Jolt Soda now that they brought that back. Normally,
right,
when things are going well, water, cocktail, beer, depends on how I'm feeling.
I am in the process of converting over because I've only got a few K-cups left from my Keurig to a proper coffee pot because I'm drinking so much more. I just was no longer economical to do it one cup at a time. But that means I can brew in batches and like make my own like pre-made iced coffee, so I don't have to sit and drool while I wait for it to cool off.
Oh, nice.
Kind of
That was a thing.
Have you considered just putting the coffee in like an IV bag and just putting it directly into your veins?
I mean, I've done that. We did the Folgers dip when I was overseas, where you take the instant Folgers coffee that comes in MRE and you put it under your lip like you would tobacco, and it gets absorbed through your gums. And when stuff gets absorbed through your gums, it goes straight to the bloodstream. So we were mainlining caffeine to stay awake.
Yeah, way back in the day, we called that Ranger coffee.
Yeah, I would not recommend it.
Terrible idea.
I cannot look at instant
don't
coffee.
recommend it, then why are you telling me about it? I already have the idea.
Okay, if you're really desperate for caffeine and need it to survive, it will do that.
I can't look at instant coffee the same way again. I just I look by it. It does not exist in my world anymore. So, all right. So now that we got that out of the way, let's talk about the thing that brought us here. So first, obviously we're here to talk about the Goonies, but I don't want to get too far afield. So first, what we're going to do is we're going to air that beautiful commercial for the sponsor of today's episode. And then it's going to be, well, I can't say that because that's not family friendly. It's going to be all out.
There you go.
What lurks beneath the waves? Krakens, sea serpents, megalodons, spirits of storm and tide. In tentacles and tide, the ocean is anything but empty. Sailors glimpse impossible shapes below their hulls. Coastal towns bargain with ancient powers. Great whales guard secrets humanity was never meant to find. And sometimes, the monster is the one telling the story. These speculative tales explore the creatures of the deep as heroes, villains, and guardians, and forces of nature where survival, awe, and terror swim side by side. The sea is vast, the sea is powerful, and something beneath the surface is always watching.
Dun, dun, dun. All right. And with that out of the way, we're just going to go around Robin, starting with you, Jarrett. Where and what's your first memory of the Goonies? Where did you watch it? That kind of thing.
Oh, definitely in the movie theater with my, I believe it was my mom and my grandmother. They took me to see it. And what can I say except I was really so hooked on the movie that I read the novelization that I found in the Pillbox Public Library in Seminole Heights, Tampa, Florida, because I wanted to, get more of it. I wanted to relive the experience. And, novelizations tend to add things or have different, what you might say, variations of the same scene, because the novelists tended to get the screenplay ahead of time, and they would often write scenes that were not included in the film. So I just love that world. I love that cast, and I was a fan of the Goonies. I was a Goonie the moment I saw the film.
Okay. What about you, Keith?
I'm weird because that came out when I was 15. So yesterday was the first time I've actually watched the Goonies all the way through from start to finish.
Wait, what?
So I've caught the entire movie in bits and pieces throughout my life. But yesterday was the first time I just sat down and actually watched the Goonies all the way through.
Okay. All right. What about you, Aaron?
I think the first time I've seen the movie all the way through was we would go to Hollywood Video on Friday nights and go rent a movie, and I think my brother picked it up and we watched it, and I loved it. I couldn't stop going around saying, "Hey, you guys!"
Electric company.
All right. What about you, Bill?
So, surprise, surprise, despite being the resident young person wherever I go, I did actually manage to see this movie when I was still a youngin'. And by a youngin', I think I was about to enter high school. That was my first memory of watching it, and then I've watched it 2 times since. Once when I was on a trip down south visiting my sister, and I didn't remember the movie that good, and so I wanted to rewatch it to see if it was good. I remember not being impressed at the time. Then I watched it more recently for this review, and I was like, huh. Okay, yeah, I can understand I can understand the appeal. Like on an objective level, this is a good movie, just not quite my tempo.
Wow.
I know.
You just broke my brain. Jana.
You're going to have to ban me from the show now.
Well, we'll see. No, I saw it. Oh, it was on video about as quick as it came out. I knew about it when it was in theaters, but as my parents had 6 children and movie tickets are expensive, there were a lot of things that I knew were in theaters, but we didn't end up going to see them until later, or we got them on video. So this was on video, and we watched it as a family movie night.
Yeah, for me, it was a family movie night as well. It was either, for me, things that were either when it came on the, where it was nonstop, wall to wall on HBO for a period when movies were, or we would rent it at Blockbuster because we would do the movie nights. And it wasn't that we did family movie nights. It was that my parents would take us to the movies, and me and my sisters and my brother would all rent a movie, and then they would drop us off so they could go on a date because we were all occupied rotating through the VHS. And then we get the Little Caesars pizza for dinner, but it wasn't the circle pizzas. It was the long rectangle pizza that they used to have.
Back in the day.
And it was the rectangle Little Caesars pizza, and the movie. And so we rented this for movie night. And I think I was the one who picked it, but my sisters ended up liking it too. But it had the overly prissy girl that my little sister always liked in movies with the cheerleader chick, Andy. So yeah, it was which is really weird since she's such a tomboy that was the character she always liked. But yeah, so I watched this for the first time, or in the 80s. Probably not in 85 when it came out. Probably would have been late 80s. But young enough that I was still riding my bike around like them at the time. So, all right. So obviously we are here, dear listener, to talk about The Goonies. So The Goonies was rated PG when it came out. It was directed by Richard Donner. It had a budget cost of $19 million US dollars in 1985, which is probably like 100 billion trillion right now. It earned 65 million US in box office. It has a runtime of 114 minutes. It released on June 7th, 1985. It was a summer hit, and I can see why. It was distributed by Warner Brothers production. And the original ad copy, there's several of them, so I'm going to read this. Just bear with me. So the original theatrical ad copy for The Goonies was centered on the main character poster tagline, which was used in the classic Drew Struzan one sheet. They called themselves The Goonies: the secret caves, the old lighthouse, the lost map, the treacherous traps, the hidden treasure, and sloth. Join the adventure. And it was sort of written like poem style. Was on a lot of the original posters. A shorter, frequently used companion slogan that appeared in trailers, newspaper ads, and other marketing was "Take the oath, join the adventure." The oath refers to the Goonies oath, which is in the novelization. It was in the movie, but was cut.
Yeah, they took it out.
And the Goonies oath was, "I will never betray my Goondock friends. We will stick together until the whole world ends. Through heaven and hell in nuclear war," because this is the 80s, "good pals like us will stick like tar. In the city or the country or the forest or the boonies, I proudly declare one of the Goonies." So there you go. That was the Goonies oath, which was from the other ad copy. Additional print ad copies also played up the Spielberg Donner connection with taglines like "It's the excitement all the way as Steven Spielberg and Richard Donner, the makers of Indiana Jones, Gremlins, and Superman, combined forces to create the family adventure of the year." And it was definitely a family adventure. I think it had something for everybody. And then the other most famous tagline for the movie was never actually used in marketing. This came about after, which was the famous line from Mikey Walsh, "Goonies never say die," which was the famous line from the when they were at the piano scene and in the wishing well. It became iconic later, but it was never part of the original ad marketing. So somebody read the script and missed that was going to be a hit and probably kicked themselves for missing it the first time. Because it was also a lot shorter than the other stuff they picked. But ads were weird in the 80s. They were all over the place.
They were still working.
Yeah, I don't hate any of it. It was.
Yeah. They were still working the marketing taglines and all that.
So, well, since you're speaking, what did you think?
Everyone was trying to figure that out.
So, Keith, what did you think of the marketing copy that they had?
I thought it was okay. For the 80s, it was okay. I mean, we had a lot, based on the ad copy for a lot of movies, they actually were at least reasonably focused and stayed in their, brand for that.
Yeah, I would say they were on brand and consistent throughout all of the iterations. What about you, Jared? What were your thoughts on the ad copy?
I think it's good. I love, of course, the Goonies oath, and that's one of those pieces that I had found in the novelization as a kid, and I just love this idea of misfits going on an adventure. It never gets old, that kind of formula, and I think the marketing campaign, hints at it at least.
All right, what about you, Jana?
It's okay. I think about what's going to draw me in. The Goonies Never Say Die is the best of them because, again, it encapsulates everything that I need to know about it. It comes in that, that they're going to be in an adventure, they're going to be stuck together, all that kind of stuff. That Goonies Never Say Die is the best of it. The oath and stuff is funny, but again, it doesn't mean as much because it was never in the show. So you have to have other knowledge in order for that to hit as hard. And that requires, a lot more work than as a marketing campaign. So it's okay. It's very 80s. They should have hit on the Goonies Never Say Die and built everything around that.
All right. What about you, Bill?
I mean, yeah, the Goonies Never Say Die. I'm kind of surprised to learn now that was never used in the advertising, because that's the line from the movie that's everywhere. I always figured that was the tagline that they used, but
The iconic lines from the
Surprise.
movies were Goonies Never Say Die and Hey, yous guys.
yeah, and
It was a still from the electric company anyway.
it's just interesting to think about. But I mean, not the second one, but that first ad copy that you read for the movie, that one,
The poem, they call themselves the Goonies, the secret caves,
Yeah.
the old house.
that one kind of does it for me.
Okay.
That would have gotten me. That had I never seen the Goonies before, that would probably be enough to get me to go watch it, because it's sort of it's building up the group and the adventure of the movie.
All right. What about you, Aaron?
I probably would have gone with the second one of the Goonies Oath, but just because it kind of gives almost like Boy Scouts vibes.
Yeah.
And I was never in the Scouts, but like I've heard their oath before, and like that would have got me to go see it. But I always thought it was Goonies Never Die was a tagline, and that in itself would have got me to go see the movie.
Yeah, I liked the Goonies Never Say Die, and I liked the original poem. Those did it for me. The good news is we'll get to see if they learned anything about marketing, because it is official. Goonies 2, it has been greenlit. All of the actors have said so. They all showed up to the actor Kay Kwan, I think his name is, the guy that played Data, when he was inducted into the stars in Hollywood. And the script is on the second iteration. Now, obviously, not everyone's going to come back because some of them are no longer with us. The football player turned sloth, he passed away. The Walsh mother passed away, and I think there was one. And the Italian mom lady, I can't remember her name, Fratelli or whatever. She's no longer alive as well. But it looks like they've actually greenlit a script that's in edits for Goonies 2.
Now,
Well-
that means nothing at this point, but it's interesting. Go ahead, Eric.
I would see it if those Stranger Things brothers directed it,
Oh, yeah.
Ooh.
but I don't know.
Well,
if they're-
all of the actors that were in it originally have said that they would endorse it only if it honored the legacy, because if they did it wrong, they would ruin what was lightning in a bottle in that legacy that I think holds up even today. And I think they're right. So it looks like, according to the behind the scenes thing I watched, they're going to take the story of what happens, like a continuation almost of where these guys are now kind of thing. So you don't have to de-age anybody or find replacement actors.
Yeah, but
Go ahead, Jared.
I mean, I can easily see them trying to shoot it on a green screen and just ruining it. Completely.
Oh yeah. I see what you're saying.
What is it, Oregon or where
Astoria, I think it was Astoria, Oregon, I think is where it was filmed.
it has such a vibe. The backgrounds
Yeah.
there, the water, the
Yeah.
forests, the rain. It's just an incredible setting. So I don't see them replicating that. I think they destroyed the house, right? The Mikey's house. That's been demolished. I might have read that somewhere.
I don't know. I know they didn't in the
Yeah.
plot, but I don't know about real life. All right, so this is
And a problem. I'm just going to put this in here real quick. We'll talk about this a little bit more when we get to plot and that kind of thing. But part of what makes this movie work is it is a time capsule of the 1980s.
Yes.
And because of that, I
Yeah.
think trying to say, well, now we're going to have an adventure about them as grown-ups, that is not going to have the same kind of appeal, because this hits all of the things that were truths for us in the 80s. That the kids jump on their bikes and just take off and nobody knows and nobody actually cares until the next morning. That was totally a thing. The older brother that is in charge of his sibling and is told him, if you don't get him back, you're the one that's toast. That was totally a thing. The costuming, the music, the everything about this is a love note to the 80s. And I don't know how you capture that again.
Yeah.
And I don't know if you can. And I don't care about who they are as grown-ups as much, because the fact they were kids doing what we all did and then going on this vast adventure, that's why I wanted to watch it. So I'm not sure that I want to watch a Goonies 2 about them as grown-ups.
Cyndi Lauper.
From the get-go.
Yeah.
Okay.
And honestly, the one scene that really epitomizes that, you see the kids take off on their bikes as a group down that long driveway down the hill. And then the older brother gets sent out to go find his brother, and he takes the bike from the little 5-year-old girl who's got training wheels, who's playing outside on her bike next to that hill with no adult supervision.
All by herself.
And nobody thought that was odd in the 80s.
All right. So this is the part here, listener, where we are going to look at the trailer. And you're going to see if this would have made us watch the movie.
Hey, Mike found a map! One-Eyed Willy! My dad told me all about him. See, One-Eyed Willy stole treasure once, and then he got into this cave, and he's been there ever since, trapped. You guys, just what if this map could lead to One-Eyed Willy's rich stuff? I'm setting booty traps. You mean booby traps? That's what I said, booby traps. I want to go home. Don't say that. Goonies never say die. Oh my God.
From Steven Spielberg. The Goonies.
Do the Truffle Shuffle. Come on. Do it.
So first off, it's important to note that because of that Truffle Shuffle scene, the actor that played him, Chunk, went on to get like jacked. He is ripped. He is a motivational speaker. He is a fitness coach and a Hollywood lawyer. He does whatever entertainment law would be classified as. But he was motivated by being that fat kid to become like jacked, and he helps other people like discovering their most fit self, which I just think is so awesome.
Another fun thing. Once on social media, he poked fun at Sean Astin and was like, "Who's doing the Truffle Shuffle now?"
Oh, that is too funny. They should get together and work out. Then Sean won't have that problem. All right, and this is one of the ones where you can tell a lot about people's watching history when you get name actors and where did you see them first. And Sean Astin for a lot of people is Lord of the Rings. Like no, he's Mike Walsh in the Goonies.
Yep.
Josh
Samwise
Brolin's
Gamgee.
first bigger role.
Yeah. All right, so Jana, would this have made you want to watch the movie?
Yes, I do think it has that problem we've talked about before where a lot of the best parts are in the trailer. Because I'm thinking through and I'm like, okay, so the organ is there, finding the ship is there, going down the water slide is there. Most of my favorite parts are in the trailer. And I always get a little sad when they do that because I want the trailers to pull people in without giving away the best stuff. So yes, it would get me to go see the movie, but also I wish that they had changed things up a little bit so we didn't see all the best parts.
Okay. What about you, Bill?
Well, the first thing I noticed when you pulled up the trailer is that it said 4K trailer. So I'm not sure. Like, was that the original trailer from the 80s?
Yes. It's just been revitalized and uploaded to YouTube by the production company because they make a lot of money selling the DVDs remastered.
Yeah.
So they have a lot of the original trailers on that website, on that YouTube channel.
I know I know you can still find a lot of the original trailers. It just didn't. Didn't come off as an 80s trailer. I don't know. There's you can really see patterns and common occurrences when you look at different decades and how the trailers look. But I mean, yeah, it's a decent enough trailer. I think I'm gonna have to agree with Jana here. It does sort of suffer the showing all the best moments, and that also added to my confusion just now because it came off more as a hype trailer,
Like a
and not
highlight
a
reel.
hype like getting you into the theater, but rather a hype like, hey, you're a fan of the Goonies. We're releasing it on 4K. Give us money.
Remember all
Not-
these great moments that you loved?
Yeah, exactly. Whereas you could have focused
Yeah.
on you could have focused on the mystery and the danger instead.
Okay, Aaron.
I'll agree with Bill that it kind of seemed like a highlight reel would be like your favorite parts of the movie. But that being said, it definitely would have gotten me to go see it in theaters.
Okay. Keith, thoughts?
The trailer was okay. I was all right with it, but I'm a kid of the 80s, so it's one of those kind of. I was a teenager in the 80s, so it was a pretty normal trailer at the time. And like I said, I was about 15, and that was kind of. I was just over the target age range for that because they were targeting families despite the language in the movie. So probably wouldn't have got me then. Now I'll watch it because, yeah, that's from back from my kind of teenage years, childhood.
Okay. Jarrett?
Yeah, I loved it. I did think the crotch shot was out of context. If this was the first time you're seeing the trailer and you're trying to figure out if you're going to see the movie, I don't know. That seemed a little out of nowhere. That seemed very, I don't know, 90s or 2000s. But no, I'm all in. I love the vibe. I love the way it's shot. I love the colors. It looks good to me. The map.
Yeah, I enjoyed it. I was already a fan of the movie, so it's hard for me to be unbiased because I've watched this movie so many times for so long. So I don't know if it would have done it for me at the time, but I mean, the cover did it for me, and I watched it. So one thing this didn't suffer from is some of the movie trailers from the '80s tended to be too long, and this was a good tight length. So in that respect, they got it right. It showed good scenes. I don't think it showed all of the cool scenes. So I mean, it did it for me. So yeah, we're gonna allow it. So okay, so now we've got the movie posters. This is what's on the movie cover for the first VHS onward, and you can still get it on the DVD. So is this gonna make you want to rent the movie at Blockbuster?
It made my brother rent the movie.
Made me rent the movie.
Yeah.
What about you, Jana?
They just look so young now. I'm looking at that, and they look younger than I think they actually are in the movie. But it would get me to rent it. I had a small card of this in my the stash of posters that I put up on my wall at one point or another. So yes, I like this cover, but I guess it's different when you look at it many years later and you go, they look like teeny tiny children.
All right, and then this is one of the two original movie posters that would have been outside the movie theaters and sent various places for advertising. This one primarily focused on print media, so magazines and billboards and such, which is why the coloring is the way that it is. But would this make you want to watch it?
Yeah, I mean that's the cover. That's the book cover for the novelization. I believe it's hanging from is that the stalagmite or the stalactite? I can't remember, but I love the peril of this image.
Okay. Anyone else got thoughts?
Yeah, I'd have gone and seen that had I ever seen that poster. Because that was way more the action adventure thing I'd be looking for.
All right. What about you, Bill?
The first one leans heavy into the first one makes the movie look more like a kid's movie. And I want to make this clear. There is a distinction between kids media and family media.
Mm-hmm.
There's a very clear distinction. This actually does look more in line to me like it could be a family movie rather than a kids movie. Which I think is better marketing, because at the end of the day, the Goonies is, as has been stated multiple times already, a family movie. Anyone of any age can enjoy the Goonies.
Okay. All right, and then this was the other movie poster of the time, which is the one that I saw outside movie theaters at the time.
Mm-hmm.
Well, actually, I know that it was outside movie theaters in '85. I would have been 4 years old, so probably I'm not actively remembering. But this was the one that was in the movie theaters, which I actually like this one better. I know it's a little bit busier, so probably as ad copy they would say not as much, but I don't know, just something about it. What about you, the rest of you? You got thoughts on this?
It would have made me.
I'm with you. Oh, sorry. Go ahead.
It would have made me go watch it with the pirates and the pirate ship.
Okay, I think I'm correct in making that comparison. So, I mentioned in the private chat that this movie isn't quite my tempo because there's not enough Harrison Ford shooting guys. But this poster actually I like more than the other two, mainly because it's more in that, I don't know, this screams a bit more adventure pulp to me. Almost like the old Indiana Jones posters. I like this. I can vibe with this. I can vibe with this poster.
Like aggressive treasure hunting Hardy Boys, or I don't know.
Yeah.
Yeah. Way more action adventure on this, but yeah, I think JR is right. It's also kind of busy because they try to get everybody in that one poster.
And it is a large ensemble cast and an ensemble antagonist, so you end up with a whole lot of potential people to put in there. But
so speaking of the antagonist, you had that one. I think it was the one Fratelli brother, the taller one. I think Joe was his name. That was singing all the time. Was he a known opera singer? Because they made a point of having him sing opera several times.
I don't know. I think it was a skill set because I remember him as an actor in some other stuff.
I was just curious because, I mean, he went out of his way in places where you didn't really need it script-wise to have him singing.
Yeah, it's such a great flourish for a villain. It's delightful.
The interwebs say that he is a classically trained vocalist who trained with vocal coaches from Juilliard, and he improvised a lot of the operatic singing scenes because it seemed appropriate at the time. So not a trained opera singer, but a trained vocalist. So there you go.
Yeah, close enough. I mean, it worked. Like you said, like Jared said, it added depth to the villains because they weren't cardboard cutouts evil. And you saw that with the villain when they got Chunky and they're like trying to scare him and is telling where everyone is, and he's like listing every bad thing he did, and the mom and the younger brother are like grossed out, and the older brother's like, I like this kid.
Yeah.
You kind of liked him at that point a little bit.
Well, and it underlined the Italian thing. If you had missed that they were Italian, you get the types of foods that they eat, the singing, so it underlined this is an Italian mob family, at least kind of.
Yeah.
And if that didn't do it, the counterfeit money certainly would have in the 80s. That trope.
Yeah.
And the car with the bullet holes in it, which, I would have been with the kids at that age where they're looking at that bullet hole and it's like, wow. And at that age, I too would have.
As an adult watching it, I'm like, no, there's no way they're doing a car chase randomly where they're just shooting at him for no reason. That makes this more dangerous because if you miss, you're shooting somebody.
Oh, absolutely not. But for the opening of a movie like this, it was fantastic.
Yeah, I thought for a couple times they were going to go off the road in those that chase scene. But all right, so
a few cars doing that one.
Man, and the way those 80s police cruisers looked. That was a blast from
They
the
were
past.
using any 4-door sedan from the late 70s.
Yep, the old Crown Vics.
Yeah, but it just they had a
yeah.
certain look to the way they were painted, and it didn't matter where you were, big city, little city, north or south, east or west in America, they all had the same look.
Mm-hmm.
It was a steel tank that if they really wanted you off the road, you were getting off the road.
So while we're talking about, because characters are next, while we're talking about it, what did you guys think of the villains overall? Like we were talking about the older brother, but there's also the younger guy. There's Sloth. There's Mama Fratelli.
I love that they hate each other. They despise each other, and they're on the verge of killing one another. It was terrifying as a kid to see that.
On both sides of that equation, kind of.
They're the cartoonishly evil that works.
Mm-hmm.
Is the best.
And then you
way
find out that Sloth is the way that he was because Mom dropped him several times.
Oh man, that was scary.
And then on top of that, and then I'm just thinking like young parents watching that, like if I drop him, this is what could happen. Like if you weren't neurotic enough, and this is before they could look it up to calm themselves down on the internet. Like now they've got to wait till they can get another doctor's appointment because they're freaking out. Those poor neurotic moms. But no, it was like, and then when they're trying to fight, and they're like, "Oh, remember when they wanted to leave you at the zoo in the enclosure?" And I'm just like, "Holy garbage!"
We've never been to the Bronx Zoo.
But that scene was like, oh, like these guys are going to murder each other. But then they loved him enough they broke him out of jail.
Yeah.
So I don't know.
Or he was useful enough they broke him out of jail. Take your pick.
Yeah. It's a beautifully dysfunctional family. And it has that very, knowing some Italian families, it's that very much the nobody can love you or hate you as much as we do because it's family. And so, yes, we're going to call you nasty names. We're going to do all these things. But how dare the police put you in jail? That's not allowed. It's not allowed outside of the family. And so they kind of had that classic dysfunction feel. And, even in the end that they say, Sloth, save us. And he's going to, because there's still that connection as broken as it is.
Yeah.
And then when you realize that they killed a law enforcer, stuffed him in the freezer, and then went out for pizza.
Yeah.
I mean, wow. And then they come back, they throw pizza at one another and then get angry and point pistols at each other. It was so, as a kid, I was like, oh,
Over the pizza.
Wait. Was that a law enforcement officer? I thought he was one of the guys going around about buying out the property for.
No, that's right. I'm sorry.
Yeah,
was it?
He
was one of the
There was
bank
an
guys.
FBI agent, and there was somebody else.
Yeah, they killed law enforcement. It was only the bully's dad that was going around buying up the paperwork or buying up the houses.
Right.
Yeah.
That was a trope you see a lot in the 80s that I don't remember actually experiencing, because what that kid did, I remember watching this today as we were prepping for the show. I'm like, that could kill him. Like, they played it for laughs, but.
Yeah, but I think wasn't it like an eminent domain kind of situation as well? Maybe that wasn't invoked, that term, but I just got the feeling that there was like
they were trying to buy him out and playing shenanigans so they could expand the country club.
So
Right.
so it wasn't
Yeah.
eminent domain. It wasn't the city, but it was
right.
And that's
It was the
it
country.
highlighted a
House.
class war that we did see in small towns in the 80s, and that we do see to a different degree now. But that idea that these are the rich people and they have the things and they are important, and the misfits almost always are that side of the track kids. So if it was that one side of the track versus the other, the eminent domain class war, that the working families versus the golf club guys. So that was again very, very much that time.
Yeah, but I was speaking more of when the spoiled rich kid in his little convertible was driving down the street with Andy and Steph, and they see him on the tricycle, little girl's pink bike, and they grab his hand and hold on, and then the dude's up to 60 miles an hour, dragging this along. The training wheels are breaking off, the wheels are popping. Then he takes a blind turn, and this guy just goes off the cliff. Like, as an adult, you watch that could have literally killed him.
But did you get the Easter egg from that scene?
What are we supposed to be catching?
It was supposed to bring back memories of E.T. going off the cliff with the bike. Instead of flying, he crashes.
which was released this same year. 85 was a killer year for movies. I looked it up, and it had just a few of them: The Breakfast Club, Lost in America, The Goonies, Back to the Future, Fletch Cocoon, E.T. the Extraterrestrial, Pee-wee's Big Adventure, Rocky IV, had to think about that one, Clue, Brazil, Out of Africa, The Color Purple, and Ran. All came out in 1985. That
Good
was
Lord.
a tough year for amazing film.
Incredible.
And Kehu Kwan had just been in Raiders of the Lost Ark, which came out in 84.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I was watching him like, it's Indy's kid. It's Indy's kid.
And it's kind of like, he was the big name in the group.
Yeah. All right. So now that we've talked about the bad guys and the dysfunctionality of them that made them work for me, and the way like the mom was going to just shoo him off if they would have just left, they would have been fine, but they just kept pushing it, and the mouth kept sticking his mouth in it, to the point where she's like, well, now you can't leave. Right? Like when he was getting lippy with her, and everyone's trying to shut him up, and of course he won't listen because he's the mouth. And you very quickly realize why he has that nickname. But what did you guys think of the main characters? So you've got basically the Goonies gang.
I like Mouth
To
going
be honest,
around and
the kids act. Go ahead, Aaron.
I liked Mouth going around and doing the translations for the cleaner and just saying all
For
the
Rosalita.
outlandish stuff. It's like I was confused because he was saying that stuff. I'm like, what is this movie rate? I look up, it's PG. It's like the stuff they're saying that I don't think that would fly for PG today. It would be PG-13. Like, what was the ratings different back then, where you could get away with a lot more in PG?
Because nobody would have, because it wasn't said, it was spoken in a foreign language. It's the same reason Serenity did the cuss words in Chinese, and they got away with it by you were seeing what he was saying in the subtext, in the subtitles.
Well, and the ratings were different because you had G, PG, R, X and beyond kind of things. And so PG went all the way from really mild, just class G to the very edge of R. And a lot of the things that are PG at that point would get much more broken up. That's why they introduced PG-13, is because you had parents that now like me watching it now, I didn't catch most of these things when I was much younger. And now I watch it as a parent and I go, yeah, this is definitely PG-13. And I did not remember some of the language and some of the crudeness and this, that, and the other from my first viewings when I was very young. But now as a mom, I ping onto and go, oh, well, fascinating.
But honestly, it's worse than that. I mean, I think PG movies today are like R movies. I mean, sorry, PG movies back then are like R movies today.
A lot of them.
And I remember we went to go see Sheena with my mom, and this is a 1984 jungle adventure film with Tanya Roberts.
It's a good movie. I love it.
And she's topless. She's topless. I'm like, I love these PG movies. These PG movies are amazing.
And you can't assume R is safe, because I figured, it was R and it was on TV. Well, what you don't know is, one, TV cuts the scenes they can't show. And two, R back then wasn't. So I was going to watch Pompeii with the kids because I'm a history nut. And then it's nothing but, upper, topless women. And I'm like, no, cover their eyes as you're frantically trying to turn it off. And your 10-year-old kid is like, no, Daddy, let's watch. I'm like, no, we're not doing that.
But I think that's the other aspect of the Goonies. It's an aggressive PG movie, and I think that's what accounts for a lot of its, memory, nostalgia, power. We remember those fun times of watching an aggressive, Indiana Jones and the Temple of Doom style, PG film.
Yeah, but watching my brothers watch the statue get broken is hysterical every time. Because there's feelings there about all of what's going on. And I don't share those feelings. I just share the amusement.
Yeah.
That still gets me every time. And then he glues it back together, and the brother's like, you'd be peeing in your face.
Yep.
Yep.
Anyway, all right. So what were you going to say, Keith, about the characters?
Honestly, the kids, the Goonies themselves treated each other the way kids actually treated each other in the 80s. It was kind of, they loved each other to death, but they were going to give you crap the whole time. And the language they used, like you said, is like that doesn't feel like PG now.
Yeah.
But
Yeah, there's-
the kids were great. The interplay between them was great.
I like the interplay between the tomboy Steph, who's like, "Ew, boys are icky," which she sells really well, and she's supposed to be the same age as Carrie Green, who plays Andy, but you realize that Andy was Carrie Green was 18 when they filmed it, and Steph, that actress, was only like 13. But they played off each other. You would have thought they were the same age, and they did it well. And like her laughter at the kiss scene, and all of that, like it was so well. But at the end, when her and Mouth get together, and she's like, "Your voice is okay when your mouth isn't getting in the way," and he's like, "Your face is okay when when I'm not looking at your face," or whatever that line was. But like that was like peak 80s like flirting right there. And I was there for it.
The one of the things that always gets me, and again, this still feels very 80s, is that they tell Chunk to run off and go get the police and that kind of stuff, and then they just go off on their adventure and assume that he's okay. And it's like, and at no point do they ever think about him again until he shows up on the ship and goes, "It's Captain Chunk." And it's like, wait, where did he come from? And I just love that it didn't faze them in the slightest that somehow he'd gone off and done something and he'd come back, and whatever had happened to him in the meantime, it was fine. And I'm just like, oh, I'm not sure that ever would have happened with my friends. We would have worried a little more than that, but they were certain that he was fine, even though they
Boys
left
are different.
him with the bad guys. They left him with the bad guys, and they just assumed that he's okay.
Boys, well, they watched him get away. They watched him crawl out that window.
Yes.
Yeah.
Again, they're right there. That's
They didn't
True,
assume he'd
but-
come back into the house.
Yeah, so the other part of that is boys and girls interact differently, but I will say that I did enjoy that we got a little bit of the boy who cried wolf parable thrown in there, because like
yes.
the sheriff, when he's really trying to call for help, is this the last time like the Iranians had invaded and all this other stuff that he's saying, and he's like, no, but it's for real this time. And so you did get a little bit of that moral lesson slipped in, like they like to do in the 80s, about if you're always making stuff up when you really need it, no one's going to believe you.
And I do think Mikey is the main character to a degree. I know it's an ensemble film, but the fact that he has asthma and that becomes like an issue throughout the film, I think that, and even more so in the novelization, I believe, that is really kind of ahead of its time. The idea of a kid with a disability leading this adventure is.
Was it truly a disability, or was it more psychosomatic? Was it in his head, or did he legit have breathing?
Well, then, of course, the story leaves you wondering that. But today, it would be hailed as a story that that features a disabled hero or something like that. But for us, it was just okay. Yeah, he's got asthma.
They did the asthmatic character in the 90s as well with that sidekick with Chuck Norris. As well. It was a take on the Karate Kid kind of movies. But yeah, I really enjoyed that. I also liked that he was the younger one, but he was sort of unofficially the leader, and he kind of manipulated from the sidelines. Like he wanted to break the glass to get the treasure map, but it was his dad, so he couldn't do it. So he handed it to Chunk, and he was counting down 3, 2, and then on 1, the kid stumbles and drops it, and he gets the map out, and like.
I love that he knows the group so well that he does things like that with all of them.
Including his brother, who nominally is, I'm the oldest, I'm in charge.
Oh, yeah. Who was Josh Brolin?
Right? And it was just, and of course, nobody ever thinks anything of it because he's wearing the sweats with the shorts over it, which is hello, stupid. Yeah. I always hated that look. But on top of that, dude's been working out. He's covered in funk and sweat, and nobody says anything about running the whole time, all up on everybody. Making out with the girl. He says nothing about how funky he's got to be.
Couple things here. First of all, we have more pressing concerns, like the Italians trying to kill us. Second, he to use the vernacular of my generation, Josh Brolin, by being a sheer giga chat throughout that entire situation, just rizzed her up all nice, like, all right? We don't care about those. She's got.
Okay, but of course he was by the time he was close enough to kiss her, all of them kind of stunk by that point.
But the other thing was
Also
that
true.
exercise thing that he had, that arm thing, was such an 80s exercise machine. I don't know if
really
that
is.
if that ever actually did anything. I remember them being all over the place. I know several of my friends' moms had them. Whether
They
it really
did
functioned,
exist.
whether it functioned any athletic purposes, the world may never know.
Well, based on the fact that they wrapped it around some kids wrapped it around a chair to hold him in it. No, it wasn't really doing anything.
But it was a good restraint, I guess.
It was effective.
But the funny thing is back to what they told Rosalita, what Mouth told Rosalita about the weird stuff they were into, and then she comes back and the kid's tied up, and she's like doing the Dios Mios and like trying to stay away from him because she doesn't know what's been going on.
Yeah.
I feel bad for her.
That is subtext that was only for the
don't blame
adults,
her.
by the way, that I was laughing hysterically for.
Yep.
All right,
Okay.
move us along.
We
We're
are-
coming up
well-
on the hour already.
I was getting ready to if you hadn't interrupted. So what we talked about the characters. Now, what did you think about the world building of this set? I mean, anytime you set a series in modern times, modern being relative, a lot of the work is done for you, but you know, they did have to set the scene about where the town and all of that. So what did you guys think of the world building for Goonies?
Really
I kind of love the
good
way they
in-
made Astoria a character for the whole thing.
Yeah.
Now, explaining how there was a Spanish pirate ship in Oregon in the 1700s, they just left that out in the wind. But the
And an
use
English
of-
Armada.
Yeah, the use of Oregon on the coast was amazing, and they really did kind of use that as a separate character for the whole thing. And they were fast enough with the plot that it was like, we found a pirate map. Obviously, we're going to go find the pirate treasure, and you never get a chance to really, as a viewer, think too much about it. You just go with it.
And then the copper pot, of course, they have to solve that mystery too.
Yeah.
Which
It was quick suspension of disbelief because he's telling a pirate story. We want to go on a pirate adventure, and the details of some of the other stuff, I just don't care. I want to go on a pirate adventure with these misfit kids who are being chased by the Italian mafia. I'm good.
well, so
It just
so
didn't
part of
matter
that
at that point.
Well, part of it was this was their last hurrah because if everybody signed the contract the next day, they were all moving and their houses were going to get. And that's one of the things I did like, where they set the scene about what kind of mother she was with the Walsh mom. Mom is paying a handy or a housemaid to come in and clean the house, so it will be clean when they demolish it.
Yeah. That really kind of tracks, honestly.
Yeah, and I was just like, yeah, I know people like that, like, you know, the stay-at-home mom who took pride in her house, and even if you're going to smash it in the smithereens, by God, it will be clean when you do it.
Yeah.
Well, and the mom's arm was messed up, so it was also a matter that she was there to help with the packing and everything else. So it was that combination of practicality and, hey, it will be clean first.
Well, the fact that she had to get help because of her arm was kind of immaterial to the I want it clean when they demolish it for me. But yeah, I thought that was and the drug reference, which, you know, drugs were all over the media in the 80s. So I thought that was pretty funny. Sort the drugs by the drawers.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, that was hilarious. The random stuff dude made up was just like.
So yeah, I really enjoyed the way they set the town up, the rolling hills in the beach and the history. Like, I did have to shake my head at the random English and Spanish off the coast of, you know, the West Coast in the 1600s.
Yeah,
I mean, is it possible they could have made it? Sure, the odds. Probably
that
not
he was
so much.
chased by the English Armada in the early 1700s. Not
No,
really
early
possible, but
1600s.
yeah.
Well, that brings
Well,
up
my wife was doing the math on it because she was looking at the stonework, and she's got a geology degree background, and she's like, "No, that stonework is all from like the late 1800s, early 1900s, and they're saying that ship has been in there since the 1700s." Nah.
Even as a kid, I realized, I mean, as much as I love Astoria as a setting, even as a kid, though, in the movie theater, I kept thinking this story would make better sense in Tampa, Florida. You know, with
Yeah, but then you couldn't have gotten the
Really?
cave.
well, I mean,
true.
yeah,
Well, There's a pirate cave in Savannah, Georgia. So just move up the coast a bit.
Mm-hmm.
But then you would have gotten the humidity that would have rotted the wood sooner.
Yes, it's true. That's true.
Okay, knock it off.
But yeah, I like the setting of the town. I like the comeuppance that we see, Sloth and the kids inadvertently like, oh, there's pipes. They must go somewhere. Let's just start beating on them so someone hears us. And then you see the shenanigans that happen in the country club because they're the antagonists. So of course, they're the ones getting tortured with just randomness.
Yeah.
It's fun.
Having all of the waterworks in the country club destroyed because they're pulling on pipes.
And then the spoiled rich kid who hurt Brad, right, is suddenly thrown upward because now they've inverted the pressure, and he's like, "Daddy!" as he's like slamming back down to the ground was just like perfect circle for that character, which I just thought was hilarious.
That really was a great scene overall.
Yeah, there's a toilet scene in Karate Kid that is not the same, but it's interesting.
Toilet humor was big in the 80s.
Yeah.
It really kind of was, yeah.
So, and I don't complain because I was laughing. So, any other thoughts on the world building? I think we kind of covered it, but anybody else want to chime in?
I love the Oregon scene. That was a great, and the Oregon scene for me was so good.
Yep. And now let's talk about. Go ahead.
I just wanted to say that they did a really good job with the cave once you get in there. Because it feels alien after all that time spent in their town, but also because, and this is going back to character, it makes One-Eyed Willy a character as well. And even going back to the characters in the Misfits, and this is actually why I would say, like, I understand the appeal, and part of why I say it's a good movie because they do this all pretty well. It is immensely believable why it's these kids that actually solve the riddles and solve the puzzles. A lot of movies fall into the trap of, oh, they just solve it because reasons. Okay. No, here it's they solved it because they are of the same mindset as One-Eyed Willy. Had they been alive at the same time, One-Eyed Willy would have been one of the Goonies. And it's because of that same mentality separated by centuries that the kids were actually the only ones that were able to... They
actually acknowledge that explicitly when Mike is up there and he goes through and he finds the treasure room and he doesn't tell them that it's the treasure room. He wants that moment with Willie and he tells them he was the first Goonie. And then you see at the end where there's the money in the scale and they were going to take the coins too. And Mike's like, no, that's Willie's. We leave that for him. That's his. And then of course, what happens when they don't listen, when the Fratellis come later,
get there.
And it triggers some things. So
it's booty trapped.
Or booby traps.
That's what I said.
And the play on the accents was so hysterical. I was laughing about all of it, and the back and forth with it, and of course the gadgets. Like that was just, and of course in the 80s was like when Inspector Gadget was one of the big cartoons as well.
Yeah,
in the AM cartoon and the pre bus ride cartoon morning lineup that kids would watch before they rushed out to the bus stop. Inspector Gadget was that show.
Yeah.
But it was also cute that when we finally get with their folks, because we do have the classical 80 thing that the folks are gone. When they show up, you understand why the families go together. And so you've got Data's dad also has the camera on the belt in the same kind of way, the things that they've learned from their parents. Chunk's mom wants to feed him and so you see their parents and you go, yeah, these families go together. They're a little stereotypical, but they go together. They love each other. And their parents did arrive for them in the end.
Speaking of Chunk's family, like in the beginning when that chase scene is happening and nobody believes him because he's lied so much, and Mike is turning the TV off from a chase scene on his TV screen, and then the chase scene keeps going for a second and he thinks his TV's broken and he hits it, and then it's like the police are no longer outside his house, so he thinks he fixed it. Because in the 80s, hitting your technology always seemed to make it work better. That was just Yeah, that was progressive maintenance. So I thought that was pretty cool as well. And then for me, Chunk, that first scene when he's watching the police chase, he's got the pizza in one hand, the chocolate shake in the other. He's playing some sort of video game at the Pizza Hut arcade. And when he goes up to the screen, face planted, pizza in one hand, milkshake in the other, just mess on the screen. And as someone who's worked in those kind of restaurants, I'm just thinking, oh my God, that poor guy's got to clean that. But of course, it's played for comedic bit, right? Like in the movie. Yeah. But yeah. All right, so now let's talk about the cinematography. How did you think about the way the shots were filmed?
Oh, it's a Spielberg movie.
It is a Spielberg movie. Something fascinating they do with the lighting, and this does play into it being Oregon, because I don't know if it would have worked the same on the southern coast. But because it is moody, and it is gray, and it is rainy, and it holds that through all of the opening, and then they're inside of the cave, and so we've got dark and moody and that kind of stuff. And the place where the sun comes up and everything turns to gold is in that morning as they come up, their parents are there, and the ship goes out in the sunlight. And it's like, that is kind of fascinating and beautiful lighting that they've gone through this effect of they get their houses back, they get all these things back, and it's bright golden sunlight when everything comes together for them, where the rest of the movie has been great.
Yeah,
I
like
think that would have worked in San Diego. It's sunny the whole time. I think the only other place it could work is if it was like the UK Goonies.
There you go.
Because it's always raining and stuff there.
Yeah, fair.
But it was just well done. I think that the way they played with light in this entire thing, same thing as they go into the treasure room, that the lighting changes in ways that you're like, technically crawling around with a couple of, torches sometimes, their lighting would have been awful, but they light it well and well enough that you still feel like you're in a cave adventure.
Yep. I love that they had a bag full of dynamite and didn't realize it till the end.
No, it was candles. It was candles.
but yeah, the lighting, it was great. You were never questioning what was going on. You could always tell, even though the mood lighting was appropriate for what they were trying to do.
Yeah, and I like the way it would pull back and close up where it was appropriate without making you feel dizzy. So when they were having the tense moments, they would zoom in so you could kind of see the facial expressions, but pan back out so you could see the majesty of the ship when they first experience it. Or, they pan out when you see the ship sailing off into the wild blue yonder. Why someone didn't think at the end, hey, let's get in a boat and go get that gold? I don't know. Like, I mean, you're worried about being poor. Like, hey, man, I'm going to spend my last dollar to rent this boat and chase this thing down.
There's a giant pirate ship full of treasure, and we know it's full of treasure right there.
and like,
at that point, it's the mystique of it. It's One-Eyed Willy taking his last voyage kind of mystique, and you don't mess with that.
And you gotta let that happen.
Yeah, I mean, I get why they did it plot-wise, but I'm a practical man, and I'm like, nope, I'm going after it. I'm going to get all the jewels that I dropped because the Fratellis made me drop it.
That's what the kids went in there for specifically.
Right?
And they got it. The marbles were replaced and all was well.
Yeah, with those gems. So that was the cinematography. Overall, Jarrett, what are your thoughts?
I think that every time I watch this movie, I fall in love with it. I do see more flaws with each viewing, but I'm finding myself more forgiving because it was all about momentum, narrative, energy, and you just have to write things off. Hey, it's a fun film, so not everything's going to make a lot of sense. Specifically, the tires on the bicycle where they pop the little.
Valve stems,
and then they suddenly deflate. What? That's not how bicycles work. But I let it go and move on. And I don't know. I find that despite its lack of realism, it's a winner. And my kids watch it still. They're in their 20s now. They watch it repeatedly. It's a winner.
I like that he knew exactly how many yards he had to mow to get those replacement tires. 45.
Yeah.
I that one hits hard even now. I'm like, yeah, man, that line spoke to me.
How expensive
Get
were
this.
tires in the 80s, and how cheap was it to mow a lawn?
I mean,
He had a really good bike, and mowing a lawn was about a $5 paycheck.
That's how much I
in the
made.
80s, in the 85. No, you're not getting $5 for that.
Yeah.
Depends on how big the lawn is.
Yeah. Yeah, my mom signed me up to mow somebody's lawn that hadn't been mowed in months one time.
Oh, rude.
I was not amused 2 days later when I finally had to take something over and literally there were some weeds I was using a cleaver on.
Okay. Overall thoughts, though, Keith?
Great movie. Really did enjoy it. Had a lot of fun with it. Would watch it again. We'll watch it with my grandkids.
Okay. Aaron?
I love this movie. I'd probably give it a 9. I've watched it a bunch before. I'm going to watch it a bunch again. When I eventually have kids, I'm going to make my kids watch it.
Yeah, this is a classic for a reason. So,
Truth.
Bill, I'm going to let you go next and save Jana for last so we don't end on a depressing note, but overall thoughts.
Okay. I mean, I will not stand by this slander. I said at the start, I think this is a good movie. It's just not quite my tempo. As such, it falls into a very small category of movie for me, which is I'm probably not going to buy it for myself. But if I ever had a family, if I ever had kids, or if I ever think that my nieces or nephews would enjoy it, I probably would buy it for them and let them enjoy it, because it has good values, and I would say, going back to the point of One-Eyed Willy and the respect that the Goonies give One-Eyed Willy at the end, it sort of ends, going back to the whole lessons that they stuck in 80s movies, it ends on a lesson of respect for the past. And also this element that even though we are separated by centuries from the past, it doesn't mean humans have changed all that much. And so I think that's a good lesson for kids to leave on. Respect the past. There's a lot of disrespect for the past going around lately that's not all that great. But yeah, it's charming enough. I would get it for my kids if I ever had kids. Or if I ever have kids. Whichever the proper conjugation there is. Whichever is
You're
the
young, you
correct
have time.
tense.
Okay. And since Aaron asked, I did some quick research on the side, and the average cost for a lawn mowing, depending on size, across the U.S., so it's going to vary, probably would have been more expensive in Oregon because the West Coast tends to be more expensive than the East Coast. But they said anywhere from $3 to $5 was the average price for a kid mowing lawns, and $15 to $20 if you're hiring a service. But typically, people hiring services back then, they would have had larger houses with larger yards and been more affluent.
Mm-hmm.
So we're talking more McMansions and the like. So, all right, Jana, overall thoughts?
It's a fun movie. It gets a lot of nostalgia vote for me. It is not my favorite movie from the 80s, but as we have found, as we have done more and more of the retro movies, and every time we do one of these, we come up with a list of even more that we haven't done yet. We could do nothing but retro movies. We're not going to, but we could, and we would still have material for years. So it's a nostalgia movie. It's fun. I love the soundtrack. I want to ride down that slide because that whole water slide thing looks like a kick. And
that was a water slide.
Yes. And we do not think about whether or not there'd be rocks that would tear you up as you go down, because again, suspension of disbelief. But it's fun.
Hold on.
Watch it again.
You can suspend your disbelief because this whole shenanigans was implicitly prepared by Willy the One-Eyed Wonder for the person that would eventually solve all of the puzzles.
Maybe.
I would have gone. In fact, when we watched that scene, that was what the kids were like, "Oh, I'd do that. That looks fun." The other part is they all went down the same door, but somehow came out different spots. Was the other part I noticed.
Well, yeah, because that's fun.
True.
which I thought was funny. Overall, I absolutely loved it. It ages well. I've watched it multiple times, and I'll watch it multiple more. I've watched it with the kids. I'll watch it with the grandkids. Should I ever have any in the great grandkids? Should that ever happen, or I live that long? It's a classic. I own the DVD, so it is a good one. With that said, this is the part, dear listener, where I ask you to join in, share your thoughts in the comments, tell us what you thought. And this is the part where I remind you to please be kind and speak your mind on the reviewing platforms. Your reviews help the right readers find the right books, the right viewers find the right movies. So do your part. It really does make a difference. And with that, Jarrett, where might we find you on the wild, wild interwebs?
You can find me at jarrettkeen.net. You can find my books on Amazon. You can find me on Instagram at author Jarrett Keen.
All right, Keith.
Hi, I'm Keith Hedger. You can find me at keithhedger.com and email me at keith@keithhedger.com is the easiest place to locate me.
All right, Aaron, if we wanted to follow Big Water Outdoors.
You can find me on Instagram, Facebook, YouTube, and TikTok. And I try to have a new long-form video out every Sunday on YouTube, 10 a.m. Pacific time.
All right, Bill.
I'm on X and Substack, Wilder396. That's Wilder spelt with a Y. And like I said at the start of the show, I publish my Zorn Adventure Pulp series on Substack. So, I mean, listener, if you like the Goonies, if you love the Goonies, you might enjoy Zorn. Although, do keep in mind, it's a bit more far-flung future, with the occasional fantasy element. Because my world building really comes down to the rule of cool at the end of the day.
And does Zorn never die?
I mean, he hasn't died yet.
He's never died.
Spoilers!
Put it out.
Spoilers!
All right, Jana, where might we find you on the wild, wild interwebs?
You can find me over at my link tree, linktr.ee/Opal Kingdom Press, or you can go direct to the press at opalkingdompress.com, or you can search for either of these two pen names. If you find them and they have to do with publishing, it is almost always me. So I'm the loser's internet hide and go seek. I am not hard to track down if you really want to.
And if you're actually looking for me, because people have asked me to occasionally say this, my website is jrhandley.com. On Facebook, it's sergeant.jr.handley.com, because at one point in time, there was another J.R. Handley, but he was not a sergeant. I am on Instagram and TikTok as J.R. Handley. Same for my Substack, J.R. Handley. So I'm easy to find. And you can find our podcast at our Linktree, linktr.ee, Linktree/Blasters and Blades Podcast. Again, Linktree/Blasters and Blades Podcast, where we link to all the things, the BitChute, the Rumble, the YouTube, the TikTok, the Twitters. We've got our Spotify, our Discord, our Blasters and Blades Facebook group and Facebook page. You can email us at blastersandbladespodcast@gmail.com. Again, blastersandbladespodcast@gmail.com for professional purposes only, people. Save the shenanigans from Madam Stabby Stab over there on the Instagram, Twitter, and the email. You can support the show by going to buymeacoffee.com/author J.R. Handley. Again, buymeacoffee.com/author J.R. Handley. These episodes aren't free to produce, so we appreciate your patrons. And if you would just put that is for the podcast, I will promise the money will be appropriately placed into the right column on my bookkeeping that I pay someone nothing to do. Thank you, Mom. And with that, I would like to thank you. I feed her, though. I feed her. We do taco nights and pork chops, and I mean, you can't go wrong with that, right? Pork chops are shake and bake, right? And with that, thank you for spending some of your precious time with us. For my crazy co-host, I am J.R. Handley, and this was the Blasters and Blades Podcast. We'll be back next week at the same time, and we'll indulge our love of nerd culture, cheesy jokes, and all things that go boom. And if you've got some cool recipes you want to throw in the comments, we won't say no to better pork chop recipes. Because there's got to be something more than just shake and bake that you could do with them. And with that, I am going to hit the end button. Wait for it. Wait for it.